All right. Jeff Carroll, Sci-fi Express Lane. Simple question, introduce myself, writer, science fiction, creator, comic book creator, filmmaker, you name it. All right, so real quick, I'm in the process of getting another car, right? The question is, do you buy new or do you buy pre-owned? And that's the same question I have for fans or creators. Do you like new characters or pre-owned, remodeled characters? Now, let me just say, as a writer, I'm gonna keep it real. There's really no such thing as a new character, okay? Every character out probably can go back to the Bible, Aesop's fables, or something in terms of inspiration. Now, especially with superheroes, it's very hard to find new powers, right? To even find new powers. So names, you can always come up with some, real unique names, but it's gonna feel like the Flash. It's gonna feel like Superman. It's gonna feel like the Hulk. It may feel like the Wolverine. It may feel like a calm Wolverine. It may feel like an angrier version of some of the other characters, but it's gonna feel like a twist. However, in as much as Static Shock shares with Dr. Doom, he is still, and there's probably somebody else in DC that he shares with, he is still feels original, right? It feels original. It's not like saying, oh, let's make another Magneto or let's make another Superman. So when it comes to characters, the question is, do you want them new or do you want them pre-owned? And I'll say this conversation existed in a comic book store. Shout out to my man Shane at my comic book store, because now we starting to have even more deeper conversations. Really good college student, but the question existed when it came with talking about the Joker, right? And how they tried to delve into the Joker. Of course, he's very much like a serial killer, right? They tried to give him that serial killer energy, and he said he didn't like it, right? And I remember wanting the Batman because I didn't like the villain, but I felt I'm not going to take it out on DC because I shouldn't like villains, right? And I should want the hero to come save us. Villains should be a nuisance. Villains should be a bother, So, I guess we're in this post-Thanos era where you don't see a villain's day-to-day annoyance, and you might agree with him a little bit because heroes aren't perfect, however, and solutions aren't always cut and dry to certain problems. However, the Joker was a throwback. The Joker was a throwback to a villain and a problem that is annoying. He's a clear bad guy. No matter whether you find out what caused him, what his motivation is, he's an irritant. He's an a-hole. So, I wanted Batman to come. Now, he's never been a friendly guy. He's never been a nice guy. He never would say, God bless you. However, he's never been as bad and irritating as he was in his movie, The Joker. He's so irritating that for me, I think I may have watched it one time since I saw it in the theaters, because I'm good. And now if I watch it again, it'll be after they bring the Batman and he gets caught. The problem is with this Lady Gaga casting, she got to get some shine. So unless, and Batman is like 12 years old, so he's got to do at least 8 more years, 6 more years, become a decent size person before he can go. He's got to have some life experience before he can go take down the Joker, unless, he snitches, unless he snitches and does something where as a young boy he gets the Joker caught. But, they're going to have to give it another movie. And I'm like, this is going to be irritating because I already don't like the Joker. So anyway, that was a rebrand of a character. He says, why did they just create another villain? Why they got to go out? Why they redoing the Joker? Because I don't want to know about the Joker. I don't like the Joker, and I'm good. And I feel mixed. I actually do like some reboots. I actually like the fact that they're attempting to reboot the whole Batman universe and just give it a different twist. Because I'm not, as much as I like Prince, I don't like Prince riding on, Batman, hood of Batman's car. I didn't like that silly, over-the-top Tim Burton Batman, which isn't around now, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to get my Batman series. And even if I don't have all of the Batman, right? Put a different Batman in the Suicide Squad, put a different Batman in the Justice League. But this one I wanted to go dark, I know it's gonna have to have some element of silliness to be have somebody running around in a cape and pajamas, but maybe they can even do that good where it's like they've done it. They've given them a Teflon suit. So I'm with you. I'm riding with it, DC. Now in terms of how it's really worked, because DC, we haven't seen it work yet. It just started off good because it couldn't end with the Joker. They had to finish that whole universe off, right? So I do like the darker Daredevil. I did like Jessica Jones. These killers and threats felt real. And some people felt that superheroes should stay for kids. And I think they still are. We see Freddy Krueger, you see Jason, I was a kid when I saw Jason and Freddy Krueger. Scared me, when I see Michael Myers, but at the end of the day, I was a kid. People in my life had passed away. I watched news where there's murder, and I understood what crime was early, middle school, maybe even earlier than that. And kids are still the same, maybe even more exposed to these crimes. So for you to have to present a hero that in their mind they can close their eyes and feel protected by, you have to make the threats. You can't be afraid of making them more real, right? Because nobody's going to be scared of somebody that's just going to tap them on the wrist, but we don't need to see them be all seven, go all full serial killer action, there. You don't need to see the gore porn. But yeah, and of course I love the global threat of the sun moving the earth too close to the sun, or Aquaman, Submariner flooding earth. And that's beautiful, and that's a threat, and I don't deny that. But when you're dealing with a hero like Batman, you have to supersize him so much to deal with a threat like that. It almost doesn't even feel like, not Batman, I'm not Superman, Batman. It almost feels like, he's taken out of his universe to deal with something that he wasn't really designed for. So when Batman is created to fight crime on the street, that's his job. That's the hero that does that. Same thing with Daredevil. He's not, flying around fighting Thanos. Maybe he could get off some kicks, whatever. But that's not what he was designed for. He was designed like the Punisher, to fight crime on the street. And we need those people, and people say, oh, well, Batman is unique in itself. Batman isn't unique. Batman is much borrowed from, the Dick Tracy Pope days as Static Shock was borrowed from other ones. I like this new character. They got the High Executioner. He's really not new. Came around in '76, I think. I think my research produced that. This is my research department. This and Google. But yeah, my research department came up, and he's not necessarily a new character. He's really a spinoff on, people that went to the Geneva Convention. If you ever saw or heard of the island of Dr. Monroe, right? What was Dr. Monroe's goal? He was trying to graft animals and crossbreed. He was a breeder. That's what he was. So even the High Executioner is the newest villain, which I think is even better than Kang the Conqueror. The High Executioner is the bomb, but he ain't new, So again, I think really what I like is well-written characters, villains or heroes, and whether they are taken from something or not, I don't want to remember that something they were taken from. Like how the Joker was taken from the story pacing in his whole origin story was inspired and very similar to The Taxi Cab Driver. It was a 70s picture taking place in New York. The shooting that the Joker had on the train, it was inspired, to me, you can't deny it, inspired the Bernard Getz shooting, the Bernard Getz subway shooting, So to me, that felt, important. I think we even talked about the racial elements of it, and I can't remember how we got into it, but it was something that, was talking about, how the 70s stigmatized a crime and stigmatized black and brown people. And that is also real, but I don't know how it relates to the rebooting of the character. I think what made the Joker feel kind of real was that the Batman was created before cell phones. You know what I'm saying? His gadgets were futuristic, and he was in a technologically dominant world. Now the villains have cell phones. The villains have spy cameras. The villains have all these things. So we don't know how far in the future Batman's technology can go, because we ain't even figure out what the future of technology is past the cell phone and touch screens and all this other stuff that we got. So Joker throwing back to the 70s, it's a beautiful story, because now you don't have cell phones. You know what I'm saying? They shot it in Newark, which is a very hasn't been hit with the rebuilding that New York City has. Because if you shoot it in New York City, then you're gonna deal with how's that building? You have to redo everything. You gotta shoot it in old looking sections of New York, and Newark looked better, closer and better than that. So that was cool, because that's the classic Batman. That's the classic Batman. It gives you the Batman in the universe that he was created to explore, where he had a technological upper hand. He was using wireless technology with him and Alfred that nobody even imagined. It was like he was beamed down from Star Trek. So now, taking it back to the 70s is a beautiful thing for that. So anyway, I just want to say that to you. I think it's a beautiful thing for characters to be remade and reimagined. I like the way they did Planet of the Apes. That was a good remake and rebrand. And I like the way they, rebranded Daredevil and Luke Cage. Sheesh. So anyway, to buy new or to buy pre-owned? There ain't no such thing as new. So they all sort of pre-owned. Just do it good. Sci-fi, Express Link, Jeff Carroll. Like, share, and comment. Peace.